who is in your Premier League 2020/21 team of the season? That is what I'm asking Russ from my Hammers11 today. Russ, how are you?
I'm well. The sun is shining. I
It
checked the
is.
table and we were still sick, so it's fine.
Oh, well, we've still got Europa League football.
I had to check it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no, what's the word? There's no, points deductions. We got too many red cards, yellow cards. Now we're there, and no one's
Yep,
gonna stop us.
exactly, my man. So I'm all well.
Sum up, yeah, sum up West Ham's season for us then.
Good question. Season. It's been a great season, isn't it? There's no two ways about it. It's been a great season. Yeah, most ever points in the Premier League, most ever wins in the Premier League. Haven't really had to worry about us being relegated from about November onwards. I reckon it was pretty set we weren't going down. So all in all, I think that's a bloody good successful season for us this season. So, long may it continue. Long may it continue.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's hope we can continue it into next season. But this isn't just any, normal team of the season today. Russ has put his own spin on it. So Russ, explain to the people.
Well, you know me, Jake. I don't do anything. I'm not a conventional man. So for my team of the season, yeah, we did. Someone's won the Premier League. There's these teams in the Champions League. There's this one of them won the Champions League itself, and I thought people have forgotten. 2 or 3 months ago, the greedy six tried to destroy the English game. So my team of the season isn't including anyone of that greedy six. Like I'd put him off from Tottenham, but the others. So yes, there'll be none of those flash stands for Man United or Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool or Arsenal or Spurs. None of them. It's all about the rest of the humble 14, not the greedy six.
The humble 14, I like it. Yeah, just before we went recorded, it just seemed to be brushed under the carpet, the whole Super League thing. Nothing's gonna happen now, I don't think. But yeah, fantastic idea. So so obviously there's not going to be any Ruben Diaz at the centre back because that tends to be the same every single episode is Ruben Diaz in there. So there's no Ruben Diaz today. He's gone. There's no Ruben Diaz today, so I had to change out my banners. Usually I just keep Ruben Diaz in there. I go through people still. I've got to change it because there's no Ruben Diaz, which is nice for a change. But
it's half term, Jake. I like to keep you busy. You're not going to do any homework, but I might as well give you something to do. That's why.
Yeah. Without further ado, we'll get into your team then, Russ. We'll stop in goal. Who have you gone for?
In goal, I've gone for potentially West Ham bound, the busiest goalkeeper this season, Sam Johnston.
Yeah,
I've gone for him.
He's been really, really good this season, hasn't he? As you said, West Ham bound perhaps. I'd like us to sign him, but Wolves stood out with him for you. Apart putting him over, I don't know, Areola or these top keepers. What is he?
Areola could have been a good shout. We could have gone for Meslier from Leeds as well. He's been good, but I just think Johnson. And it's the same way when Fabianski was at Swansea. Just because they're bottom of the league doesn't mean they're bloody good keepers. And the fact is, he's a bloody good keeper, and I like the way he kicks as well. I like his distribution, particularly when they played us. He seems to be able to pick out a crossfield pass quite nicely. And I just think he's a good keeper. You look at around. You've got your well, even I would say De Gea, but not really De Gea. You've got your Hendersons, you've got your Allisons. But I think Sam Johnson's a bloody good goalkeeper, and if we can get him, I'll be really happy. I'd be really happy because potentially he could be our number one for 8-10 years easily. He's only 27, 28, so he's got so many years ahead of him. So he's in my team this season. I thought he's done well. Areola's played well, he has, but I think Sam Johnson. I'm always an underdog man. And he was he's not gone under the radar, but Areola obviously used to play at PSG and stuff like that, so he's got sort of a bit of a pedigree. So I've gone for Sam. That's who I've gone for.
I like it. Yeah, I'm surprised no one else. You are the first person to pick this man, and I really like him. He's a fantastic player, fantastic player. But just before we go any further, I'd like to thank our sponsors for this series, the Blowing Bubbles magazine. There we go. Russ is pointing to it. There he is. There it is. There. Check him out using the link in the description down below. Where you can, if you use the discount code at checkout, Jake Cox, you can get a £5 off. £5 off your there we go, £5 off a 11 magazine subscription. So if you could do that, that would massively help the channel out. And it's absolutely fantastic magazine. Nowhere near your Manscaped advert, Russ. I mean, I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I did sort of segue that in the show today. Blowing Bubbles, great magazine. Obviously, we've had Dave on, and I've had lots of contributors on the channel already. So great magazine. And a bargain.
Yeah. A bargain. Yeah. We will move into the right back position then. It could only be one man if we weren't going for the greedy six.
Well, even if he went for the greedy six, this man is arguably the best right back in the Premier League. He only costs £5 million. You could sell him for 5-6 times as much. Obviously, it's my hammer of the year, Vladimir Coufal. An incredible player.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Consistent is the word that comes to mind, and just everything about him's just class. It's just
he is. He's
I
class.
don't know what more to say. He's just
he's class. He's consistent, and he gives as we've all seen this season in terms of all the Czech boys, both of them. Maybe some more. Who knows? Maybe some more Czech boys are coming this summer. But I think he's. I think he is a brilliant, committed, old school footballer. And you can see that winning mentality. Because obviously, when he was at Slavia Prague, they were in the Champions Leagues and stuff like that, and he's bringing that through to our team as well. And I just think there's been no one better. Maybe Reece James from the Greedy Six, maybe, but he's in the Greedy Six. But I think Vladimir has obviously played so consistently this season that he deserves that spot.
Yeah, agree. Completely agree. And he'll be in mine, that's for sure, when I do mine for the last episode of this. But yeah, absolutely fantastic, as we keep on saying, everywhere on here, probably the best signing for West Ham this season. I mean, there's so many to choose from. I mean, arguments signing of the season for West Ham. I mean, you've got Coufal, Souček, Lingard, Dawson, my man Dawson, all of these players, absolutely fantastic season, but you couldn't not put him in there. We will move into your centre-back pairing, and we'll start with your first of your two centre-backs.
Okie dokie. So I've gone for a Leicester centre-back pairing, and I'll go with the obvious one, and then I'll put my reasons for the second one. So my first one is a guy who turned us down. He turned us down, and in the summer, didn't he? Fofana. That's why I picked Fofana. He turned us down in for Leicester, and they only finished 1 place above us. So there we go. Yeah. But I just think he's great. He is so composed in the ball. I'm really gutted we didn't get him, to be honest. In hindsight, because he was such a good player. And I think when you take those greedy buggers out. There's really sort of Leicester. I mean, there's some players at Villa who have played well defensively, but I just think he's a great player, and he's really comfortable with the ball. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And 20 years old, the sky is the limit for him now.
I totally agree, and I think he's, they've done well. They paid a lot of money for him, so obviously they believed in him as well. So, but I just think he's really He just seems to have so much in his game, and obviously Leicester winning the FA Cup this season. In partly there was, and Jake's gone. See, Jake's just disappeared. I'll just carry on. Don't worry, just carry on.
Don't worry,
I'll carry on. I'm used to it. Don't worry. So yeah, Fofana, he's my first centre back. I've picked. The second one is another Leicester player. I'm playing him out of position a little bit because I wanted to get him in the team, and I didn't want to put another of my midfielders in there for obvious reasons. So I've put in Wilfred Ndidi. as my second centre back. He's been phenomenal in that midfield for Leicester in sort of the CDM role, but he has played centre back before, so that's why I put him in there. When you're looking at centre backs, when you've taken out the big six, as you said, people like Ruben Diaz and stuff like that would have naturally been in there. So, but they're greedy, so they're not going in. So I'd rather put Ndidi in there. Solid, he's been brilliant. I mean, he's. I talk to a lot to Leicester fans, and they rave about him in the same way that we rave about other midfielders that may come up in future selections further on in the show. But no, I just think indeed he's been a great player this season, and again part of that spine that's won the FA Cup. So fair play to Leicester.
Yeah, I agree. Him and Youri Tielemans have had a fantastic pairing in the midfield, and dropping back as well is a very possible thing. If I do put your full screen, Russ, I've got a cold. It's probably because I'm sneezing, and you don't want to see that. So fair enough.
You're right, we don't.
Yeah, there you go. So there are your two Leicester centre backs. Then very, very decent. But who's gonna finish off this back four? Who is going to go at left back for you, Russ?
So left back, obviously, I didn't want to. I would have put in the man, the magic hat, Aaron Cresswell, but I thought, I want to keep that. I only got 3 West Ham players, and they're coming later on. So the other 2. So I thought, looking at the in the league. A player who I've always loved playing at left back is Lucas Digne. Digne. You say tomato, I say tomato. But I think he's a great fullback. And him and Krez, if you look at their stats this year, it's Krez slightly ahead, but I think he's had a great season. And Everton have had quite a great beginning of the season, dipped, then they came back a little bit towards the end and could have even nabbed that 7th potentially. And so I think he's great. He comes forward quite a lot. He's got a good whip on him. When he came to our gaff, to be honest, he was the main threat coming down the left-hand side. And obviously, for a lot of these players I've seen firsthand. So for me, it's great. So, but I'm going to put Lucas in left back.
Yeah. Them balls into the boxes between him and Cresswell is there. But yeah, fantastic player. That's not been mentioned yet again. Most of these players that Russ has put in age, the first comers, the one and onlys. But we'll just have to wait and see whether they're picked again. Right then, into the midfield. These 2 players have been picked quite a lot, as you can imagine. But I mean, put them together. They put together. It is rice and potato salad. Fire away.
Indeed, I think they come as a pairing, don't they? They're a pair. We've seen when one hasn't been playing, when Rice hasn't been playing, potato salad is half the player. He really is. And so I put them both as a pairing in the central midfield. I beg to differ if there's a better central midfield pairing that has been out there this season. Across the Premier League, regardless of whether in the greedy 6 or not. As you said, Tielemans and Ndidi potentially as a pairing, but everyone else has chopped and changed quite a bit this season. And I think they are exceptional, absolutely exceptional. Declan Rice would walk into any team in the world and improve them. And Souček would do the same, but obviously I think for Souček he needs to be in a particular team that has an aerial threat into their game. You know what I mean? He's not going to be a guy who's going to. Souček's not going to do beautiful 30-yard passes, crossfield passes all the time. That's not his style. He has a knack of getting into the box and scoring, and that wins games. So as a pairing, they come together. So I put them in together in that central midfield position. Bless you, Jake. You must have just sneezed.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, them 2, they go together like glue. Potato salad and rice. Would you have it together in a meal? That's for you to decide. No. Who knows? But on the football field, they go together. That is for sure. But we'll move up to the flanks then. Firstly, we'll go out onto the left-hand side. Who have you gone for as your left midfielder then?
Left-hand side. So I've gone for a guy who I think I've watched him quite a lot. And the reason being is I've always had a slight affiliation with this team. And as West Ham fans, we love a tricky winger. We love someone who's got a bit of skill. Dimitri Payet, obviously for us, Saeed Benrahma. But I would go for Leeds, and I put Rafinha in there because I think he's a quality midfielder. He's turned up in a similar way to Payet. You know, he came from Ligue 1. That means that's League One. For those of you who don't speak French, and he's been brilliant, and he could walk into a Man United or an Arsenal, I think, and improve them, or Chelsea, and improve them dramatically. And I think he could do the same with us, obviously, as well. And I think he's been brilliant. So I put Rafinha in. I love attacking wingers. I like wingers who are actually on the right foot for their own feet as well. So that's why I put him on the left, not inverted on the right-hand side. I put him on the left, so he's in.
There you go. Yeah, I don't think Leeds players are, you know, getting what's the word, the right recognition, I think, because they've had an absolutely fantastic season, and you know they're being mentioned here and there. But Rafinha, Stuart Dallas, Luke Ayling, all of these players, they've had a fantastic season to come together to make a really good mould. And you know, next season it's going to go from one extreme to the other. I think they could be fighting for Europe, or they could get second season syndrome. I think it's the first option there, but it's a massive season for them next season. They've got some fantastic players there.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So we will move to the right hand side then, over to the other side, from one tricky attacking winger to another.
Exactly. I love my tricky attacking wingers. And one of them I think who actually probably was arguably not man of the match, but he played bloody well against us. Was Pereira from West Brom. So I picked Mateus Pereira. I think he's a great player. He's been the shining light of West Brom this season, and we'll be playing in the Premier League next season, no doubt. Whether it's for us or Crystal Palace or someone like that, you know, he's going to be playing in the Premier League next season. He's too good for the Championship, that's for sure. And he's been brilliant. Got a fantastic whip on him in terms of his corners. Obviously, scored technically kinda against us with the corner, and I just think he's got it in the same way Rafinha's got it on the left hand side, Pereira on the right hand side, and Souček and Rice in the middle just holding. I think that's a nice front. That's a nice four. Very attacking.
It is. Yeah, I completely agree. Fantastic player, and really caused us problems when we played them. Fantastic player, and you know Peach really wants us to sign Lingard and Pereira. I don't really blame him. I don't think we will. I think we're in for a chance of signing one of them. But yeah, absolutely fantastic player. You know, if Peach rates them, we've all got to rate them. So that's a very good defence, a very good midfield and attacking midfield. Let's round off this side then with your two strikers. Who's the first of your two?
So first one, another Leicester player. He's the player that I would have loved to play for West Ham. I think he's a bit old now for us in terms of, you know, what we'd have to buy him to actually get him in our books. It's the man himself, Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy is my first striker. Always really troublesome when you play against him. He's, you know, no one likes playing against pace, and he has it in bundles. Good season again. Scored some goals when he's not in the team. Leicester don't function really, although Iheanacho played well for a few games, you know, when he was out taking the lead in terms of goal scoring. For me, Jamie Vardy has been great, and I think he still is. He's still a great player, and I'd have him tomorrow at West Ham. I really would. I think it's great.
An out goal scoring. You know, when they won the league that season, didn't he score? Was it 12 on the bounce or something like that? Yeah, he's just got that eye for goal. And people say this about Mo Salah as well. He's almost a little bit greedy in a way, where the only thing he thinks about at times is goal. No, I want to get a shot off. I want to score. That is what people are saying about these players like Jamie Vardy and Mo Salah, and that's why it's made them so effective.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. They are, and also what I like about Jamie Vardy, in the same way of like a Mikel Antonio, is he's come through the ranks. You know, he's come through from non-league all the way up. He hasn't, you know, been a graduate, you know, been signed up by one of the greedy six at 12, 11, 10 or whatever, stayed in their youth system, working their way up through the academies. He's turned up at Hackney Marshes and played there. He's worked his way through, and you can see he enjoys that even more. And so similar for what's the name as well, similar like Antonio, exactly the same. But yeah, I put him in. He's in. He's the first one in. And I'll carry on in case you want to sneeze again. So, and the second striker
I'm all right.
is
Yeah, go on, go.
and the second striker is Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins. I really like Ollie Watkins. Similar vein to Kent. I know Kent Hammers is always gutted that we didn't buy him, and I'm the same as well. He's a real out and out old school forward, really. Tall, he's strong, he can hold it off. He's got a change of pace. He does actually miss a lot of shots on target. In the same way that we criticise someone like Antonio for missing big chances. He doesn't miss a lot of big chances, but he gets a lot of chances. So it means he scores. So he'll score just as many, but it can be frustrating. But I think he's been great this season, and to come in from from Championship, go and literally almost hit the ground running. It shows how good Brentford their recruitment. I have Brentford boss name on all the time, and yeah, and so they have a fantastic recruitment policy. So to lose Ollie Watkins and then bring in Ivor Toney, if Ivor Toney went, there'd be another one lined up, and obviously before Ollie Watkins there was Neil Malpai, and people like they have a great recruitment, and Ollie Watkins epitomises it. It was great that he got into the professional squad for England as well deserved, and he just seems to really enjoy football. He's always got a smile on his face when he's playing. I like players who play with a smile on their face. They should be enjoying their work. Christ, we don't smile at our job, but they're kicking a leather ball around and getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds for it. So they should be smiling, really, and he does. And I think he's great. And so he's my second striker.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and Kent, as you said, really wish we got this lad in, and so do I. Absolutely fantastic player, and it shows how good Brentford are. And as you said, because they're back up to the Premier League this season, we took Syed Ben Rabbit off them, Aston Villa took Ollie Watkins off them, and they still managed to get up into the Premier League. Fantastic club and a fantastic player that they got rid of in the end. But Ollie Watkins, a fantastic player. I said fantastic a lot there, but anyway. Right then, so that is your team. We will review that in just a second. Who is going to manage this side? Who's your manager of the season, Russ?
Is there anyone? Is there anyone who he can't be? It is the Moisire. The Moisire is the manager. What a manager he is! I've always loved him. He's done a cracking job this year. He's nominated for manager of the season. He won't win it because of the greedy six are there, but he should do for what he's done and the transformation he's had, not just on the pitch but with the club itself. There's a real buzz around the fan base this for next season. There's a real buzz around the team internally. There's a big buzz around the club, and it all stems from the performance of the teams on the pitch. Team falls well, everyone's happy, everyone looks forward to it, and he's done that. And in a time where no one's been able to go and see football live, they've made you excited to see the next game, and it comes from him and his backroom staff. I'll take the backroom staff as well, because they're just as important as David Moyes, but he's the one who selected them and brought them in. So the Moisire, he is our captain. He's our manager, rather. He could be captain. He could do a good job, actually. He'd probably have a good go. But he'll be our manager for this.
Yeah. I agree completely. The Moisire gets that. But let's have a look at this team then. Managed by David Moyes. Here it is. So it's a Russ from Hammers11, as you can see at the top of the screen. Non-greedy. It doesn't even fit on the thing. Non-greedy sixth team of the season. So Johnston in goal. A back four of Digne, Fofana, Ndidi, and Vladimir Sufal, Rafinha, Rice, Souček, who did get nominated today for the player of the year. He won't win it. Bruno Fernandes will win it because it's Man United and it's Bruno Fernandes. It is the greedy six. Pereira, another fantastic player, and then leading the line with Watkins and Vardy. That's not a bad side, considering you probably took the six biggest sides out of the fold there.
And also we've got the Premier League young player of the season nominee in Declan Rice as well.
Yeah. Oh, we do.
So there we go.
We do. Absolutely fantastic. Right. So probably as people are watching this, most of the people will watch your lunchtime show. So the big question the big question, probably the most important question, is what's Russ got for tea?
Oh, well, I'll be honest, it's a bit controversial for but Mrs. Budden, she hasn't done the shopping. She didn't do the shopping on this. I know, and it's a bank holiday. She had an extra day, but it doesn't matter. She didn't do the shopping, and so she's doing an Ocado. Hello, Marks and Spencers. She's doing the Ocado delivery, but it's not coming till Wednesday. So today we got a bit of a. So I think we're gonna have to get like a cheeky takeaway on a Tuesday. I know it's madness, but that's what we're gonna have. Maybe KFC. I know you're a big fan of KFC.
KFC.
Maybe KFC.
Love a bit of KFC. Well, there you go. No leftover lasagna. None of that.
No,
none of that.
That was polished off already. That's polished off already.
It's gone. But there we go. That's the most important question done. That is Russ's team, the non-greedy six team of the season from Russ, from Hammers11. Russ, thank you very much for coming on.
Pleasure, my man.
Thank you very much. Subscribe to Russ's channel. No, it is that way. I always get it wrong. There he is. No, he's that way. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe, all of that jazz. Hit the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, West Ham Unofficial. And we'll be back very, very soon. For me, come on, you eyes, and we will see you very, very soon. There we go. Come on, you eyes, and we'll see you very, very soon.